All right, well, today we are going to be starting on the Turbo LS truck build. This is a build I have wanted to do for years now, years and years. And I've always let some other project get in the way. I found some amazing deal I couldn't pass up on a project car and then was gonna work on it for a little bit and then start on something like this. And one of those things, the old build has been pushed to the back burner too many times. We're finally starting on it. We have just about every part and piece needed to complete this build. We've just got to do the work. So I'm really stoked to get started on this. This is, again, something I've wanted to do for a while, especially like a regular cab short bed Silverado, Turbo LS street truck. This should be a fun one, man. This should be a fun one. So I've had this truck for a couple years now. I used it as a temporary tow rig while I built this truck, my Cummins Swap Ford. So this was, to be my main tow rig. So I bought this with the plans of turboing it, but used it as a temporary tow rig to tow my open trailer around while we built that. So once that was done, the truck just kind of became a parts getter, a parts runner, errand runner. Great little truck for that until I let my girlfriend borrow it. I think she got a flat tire or something in the morning. I was like, oh, just take the green truck, which this thing is dubbed the little green ripper. And it popped the transcoil line on her way to work and dumped all the trans fluid out and burnt the transmission up. Totally not her fault. She called me, it was like 5 in the morning, sent me a video of how it was driving. She thought it was weird, and I was like, nah, she's just overreacting. She's overthinking it, it's fine. It wasn't fine. So anyway, we got it back, put trans fluid in it, drove around fine for about a week, but now you can't drive it for more than 10 minutes before the trans starts slipping. So moral of the story is it's time to resurrect the old girl and build her up like she was always meant to be. So before we pull this thing in the shop and start tearing it down, since this is the last time it'll be in complete form like this, I want to take it for a quick rip and just get some baseline numbers on how it performs as is right now, so we can kind of compare that down the road to how it performs with the turbo and engine parts and all the upgrades that we're going to be doing to this thing. So that being said, let's get into it. All right, let's see if the old girl fires up. It has to be months. Oh, Wizard was living in the door crease there. Oh, it's hot. We got good beeps. Oh, battery's a little dead, but no problem for the old girl. Oh, I miss this truck, man. It's got the captain's chairs and the center console. It's so comfy. Man, I did a lot of trips in this truck. I like this little rig. Okay, let's go for a drive. Forgot how good the system was in this thing. But we can't listen to music on YouTube. All right, we got the draggy. So for those of you who don't know, this truck, it is a 1500 regular cab short bed. Is the parking brake on? I'm just used to the big truck now. It is a 1500 regular cab short bed, but it has a 6-liter and a 4L80E in it out of a 25. It's basically got a 2500 drivetrain. So the 4L80E is a better, stronger transmission. Granted, it doesn't really matter if it's F. It's just weird because with the trans issue, it drives completely fine for the first 10 minutes, and then afterwards, it takes like 30 seconds to switch gears. This truck did amazing as a tow rig. I towed my open trailer with my Miata. You could cruise control at 80 up the hills. It was awesome. Way better than you might think. Good shot here. Little trans brake. Seconds. Oh, 0 to 60 in 7.5 seconds. Still seems slow. Did I let off before 60? We're gonna have to try that again. Alright, well, I don't know. I've never used this draggy, so here you go. Let's save that for the future. Let's try this one more time here. Oh, you hear the trans? Be the first time I've ever really floored it. Oh man, just ripping on this thing with a bone stock 6-liter has me hyped for this build, man. I just love this little truck. It's such a good driver. That's why one of the things is I want this to be a good street truck. Oh, see, we put it in reverse. Let's see how long it takes. Come on, buddy. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. And there it goes. Yeah, the goal, at least for V1, is to make this thing a nice, comfortable street truck. Try to keep AC, cruise control, as much stuff like that as we can. Because it is a great daily driver. Alright, let's get this thing on the lift. Man, it's a bit of an odd sight seeing this thing on the lift. So this is really my first time ever being under this thing on the lift, having it lifted all the way up, and it's not too bad under here. This thing's odd because it's got surface rust on the frame and stuff, but no rust on the body. It's not a rusty truck. It's just got surface rust on the frame and the shackles, but everything looks pretty good. You can see this is a modified transmount for the 4L80E. The stock 4L60 transmount doesn't work. I assumed I was gonna have to rebuild this, but this one's honestly pretty stout. We'll take a look at it, make sure it's all good, no cracks or anything. But yeah, basically what we need to do is pull the entire drivetrain out. Engine, transmission, we're going to be replacing the transmission, we're going to be modifying the engine. So we got a good bit of work to do. Figure we'll start up top, dig right in, yank the whole thing out. We got some cool parts for this thing. So, enough jibber jabber, let's get to work. This where we're going. Definitely the easiest method to removing a fan clutch. Use an air hammer, wrap. Basically works like an impact, but you can't get an impact on there. Part of me wants to retain the stock fan clutch setup. Don't know that we're gonna have the room to do that though. I don't think we're gonna have the room to do that. Tension is a little wore out. All right, we got most everything done up here. There's definitely a handful more things, but I really need to kind of move to the bottom to get some of the stuff that I still need to get off the top. It's time to lift this thing up and go underneath, start disconnecting more things. Yay. And the first one came out so good. Thought we were in good shape. Hit them with some PB. Gotta come down for that. All right, we're getting pretty close to being ready to pull this thing out. Since we're pulling the engine and trans out together, we're gonna have to get it pretty high to kind of clear this core support. So what we're gonna do is just rip the whole front end off this thing. That'll make it way easier to get the engine and trans out and then back in, because ideally, we'll put the whole assembly back in, you know, new trans, converter, engine, everything, drop it all in at once. Also, we're gonna be changing a bunch of stuff up here anyway. We got a different radiator for it. We need to fit an intercooler, a new trans cooler, so pretty much has to come apart either way. Might as well make our lives easier in the process. So, enough jibber jabber. Let's get back to work.
Boom. Bring her on down.
All right, engine's about ready. Yeah, it's 24 to come out. I just figured we'd go ahead and pull the crank pulley off in here. This Milwaukee mid-torque is a beast. That's 240 foot-pounds that these are torqued to. But anyway, pull it off while we're in here, just so we're not trying to get it off on a stand. It'll be easier. All right, well, that is pretty much everything. I left the power steering pump in here, so I didn't have to unhook it, but I might go ahead and replace it while everything's out. That one has whined, made some whining noise. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Everything else is done, so it's pretty much time to wrangle this thing out. See what happens here.
One on the ground or on its leg?
On the ground for now.
I'm sorry, friend.
Yeah.
There's no leak.
I just, you know, like why do you even drain the trans fluid then? Well, we made a bit of a mess with the trans fluid. I drained it, but whatever was left in there is, yeah, it's pretty bad. We're gonna have to clean that up before we keep going. All right, engine is out. We gotta pop the trans off, the torque converter off, and then get it on the stand. We got a new stand. It's pretty exciting. I've had this in the box for a while, just haven't needed to build an engine. This is a Ranger one, way, way beefier. Let me just show you the one I usually use. So this one's got like the one deal with the one leg, This is way thinner. These are way thinner. That one, like the Harbor Freight style, always sketches me out. Even with an aluminum LS, let alone an iron LS, it's 100 pounds heavier. So I figure we're gonna have this big beefy unit. Now I got a big, dude, look at how much thicker that is. That's wild. Like this is double the thickness. Anyway, jibber jabbering on. Let's put the new engine stand together. We need to get the engine on it. Puppuccinos are going nuts. Ella, what do you think? This is Ella. Say hi, Elsbells. You're too close. They probably can't see you. It's pretty much the cutest girl ever. Blue, get your, you're on TV. And this is Bluebird. He's gotten a lot better since the last time he was in a video, right, Blue? Ain't that right, Blue? Okay. A lot of jibber jabber. Back to work.
But yeah, look at the gate.
Copper, go a couple pumps. A little more, a little more. Okay.
Blue says that is scary.
It wasn't me.
Is Juanito doing
It wasn't
magic?
me.
Is he doing magic?
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Freaking heavy auto transmissions. Oh. I'm used to them flexing like crazy, and it didn't hardly flex at all. It rolls like butter. All right, the bay is officially empty. There's a lot of stuff left. We're gonna have to figure out how to kind of trim the fat here. Again, street truck, so we're trying to keep all the functions, but there's a lot going on here. We do have a better setup for this that's gonna look nicer. This is gonna be a struggle. It's gonna be hard for me to go street, not wanna go race, and we'll get into that later. But the engine is out, it is on the stand, so we're gonna tear into this thing. We have all the parts to build this engine. I've got some exciting surprises. It's not gonna be as basic as I intended when I decided I wanted to do a build like this. We're going a little wild. I think you'll like it. So I hope to see you guys for that. But for now, that is it for part 1, episode 1 of the Turbo LS truck build. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Goodbye.